Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So this video is going to be about the Leaf Devourer Awakening. And I know a lot of people have been asking for it, especially after the Blue Ants Pangolin video. People wanted to see how the Awakening affects the choice of ants to use in the Pangolin for the Guardian Day. So let's start by talking a little bit about the Leaf Devourer's skills, then we'll talk about the Awakening, then we'll actually put it to the test in Pangolin, and then we're going to take a look at the data and see how effective the Leaf Devourer really is after the Awakening is unlocked. Okay, so let's start with taking a look at the skills. So skill number 2 prepares for 1 round and then an 80% chance to attack the enemy 3 times. The target is selected independently, dealing 120, 240 and 480% damage respectively. That's 80% chance to do 840% damage at 0 star. Of course, if you're able to get it to 2 star, we're talking 980% instead. So definitely a really nice ability. Skill number 5. In its troop, increases the additional skill damage dealt by 10%, and this can be stacked once per round up to 80%. So every round, it's increasing the skill damage by 10% and it's stackable. And if you manage to get it to 5 star, we're talking 12.5% per round, stacking up to 100% over 8 rounds. Now this might not be a damage dealer by itself, but it works really well with its skill 2, which does a lot of damage, and then this is making that damage much higher. So especially for Pangolin, this is of course very effective. And then skill 8. In its squad, increases Guardian Ant attack by 10% and deals 200% damage to 2 random enemy squads each round. And of course, this is a 100% chance of doing so, which is nice. So 10% extra attack and then 200% damage to 2 random enemy squads every round. If you have it at 8 star, the attack is increasing by 15% and the damage is now 240 to 2 random enemy squads. So overall, a reasonably high amount of damage is being done, and of course, skill number 5, giving the extra skill damage, makes this damage much higher. So a really good ant for PvE. Now let's take a look at the Awakening and how that changes stuff. So the Green Awakening, right off the bat, the first thing that you get is an increase in damage by 10%, which is amazing because you already have those damage buffs and now you have an extra damage buff which is of 10% at Green Awakening, meaning you'll be doing a lot more damage to Pangolin. And its 8 skills damage now targets all enemy squads. Remember this one? It was doing it to 2 random enemy squads, now it's doing it to all. So if you don't have it at 8 star, it was doing 400% damage, now it's doing 600% damage, which of course is great. Then at level 10, it actually increases the trigger chance of the second skill by 5%. So remember this was 80%, now you get an extra 5%, which should be 85%, which may not seem like a big jump, but you know what? This is your main damage dealer, so you definitely don't want to have 20% chance of it not hitting. 15% chance of it not hitting is still better. And then finally at level 20, the third ability unlocks, and what that does is in the first 3 rounds, the effect of the 5th skill is doubled. Now the 5th skill is the one that actually increases the skill damage. So if you don't have it at 5 star, it was increasing it by 10%. If you have it at 5 star, 12.5%. But with this Awakening, now it's talking 20% additional skill damage, stacking up each turn. So if you don't have it at 8 star, we're talking 20% in the first turn, 40% in the second, and 60% in the third turn. So you're getting the extra skill damage much faster. Now if you do have it at 8 star, you're getting 25% in the first round, 50% in the second round, and then 75% in the third round. So skill damage is coming much faster. I don't believe that maximum stack changes, but of course it's still helpful because now you'll be doing a lot more damage in a few more rounds because you ended up stacking the extra damage earlier than you otherwise would have. So quite useful. And if you are to take a look at the maximum Awakenings, one thing to mention is that you you do get a bunch of attack as well. So this definitely does help with the Pangolin as well. At level 20, I'm getting 18% attack, which is nice to have. If you were to max it, you'd be getting 60%, which is much better. And if you are able to get it to Orange Awakening, the first ability actually becomes much stronger. So instead of 10%, we're looking at a 25% increase in Leaf Devourer's damage. So that's another 15% extra damage added to Leaf Devourer. So it is definitely going to be extremely impactful. Now that is at orange. If I were to promote it to the next one, it would be increasing to 15%, right? So it's 5% each. So blue is 15, purple is 20, and orange is 25. So just by taking a look at this, you can clearly see that this awakening does actually make it more effective in both PvP and PvE, because it doesn't specify only for Pangolin and Groundhog, but rather it's increasing the amount of damage that Leaf Devourer can do. So this should make it effective both in PvP and PvE. And what we're going to do is we are going to test the Leaf Devourer in the Pangolin. Now it is level 20 and it is green awakening because I can only get one awakening item each week. So up until next week, I won't be able to make it blue. So how are we going to test it? Well, first of all, I'm going to use the unit that I've been using in the past. So that's Gold Armor at 8 star with Golden Awakening, Proata at 0 star, and Hairy Panther at 0 star. And with that, I'm going to give Hairy Panther the mutation that gives extra skill attack of 12.3%, and Proata is going to get the 17% attack. And what we're going to do is we're going to try this 5 times and keep record of the reports that we get, and we'll assess them. And then we're going to switch Proata to row 3 and give it the skill attack reform and give Hairy Panther the attack reform so we can see the maximum potential of Proata. And then we'll test it 5 times as well. So it's going to look like this, and then Proata is going to have the skill attack mutation, and Hairy Panther is going to have the attack mutation, and we'll test it. And then finally, in the last one, we are going to have Leaf Devourer take the position of row 3. And of course, we'll give it the skill attack mutation, and then we'll try it 5 times with that. And then we're going to check the reports and see which ant performed the best when it was in row 3 with the skill attack mutation. And that should give us a little bit of an idea of how effective each ant is in the Pangolin at 0 star. So if that makes sense, let's get started. We're going to start with the first one, and we're going to do 5 attacks, and we're going to check out the reports as they come through. You don't need to memorize the data on the reports because we're going to have a graphical representation after all the attacks are done. They'll show you how each of the ants performed. So just see the reports for fun. Don't need to memorize them. And we got a first one, 1 billion damage. Let's go take a look at each of the ants and see how they performed. Gold Armor, 256 million. Proata, 188 million. Hairy Panther, really nice, 452 million. The next one, 900 million damage. Gold Armor 239, Proata 181, and Hairy Panther again pretty nice at 381 million. Third one, 939 million. Gold Armor 204, Proata 208. Hairy Panther still pretty good, 417 million. So clearly Hairy Panther is really nice when it comes to the back row. Good one. 1.05 billion. And here, Gold Armor, 269 million. Proata, 234 million. And Hairy Panther, 444 million. Consistent high performer. Here's the final one with this layout, 887 million. It's the lowest one that I've seen so far. And let's see. Gold Armor didn't perform well in this one, 127 million. Proata, 220 million. And Hairy Panther, still a high performer at 430 million. So I don't blame you, Hairy Panther. This is clearly Gold Armor's fault. Okay, now we're going to swap out the attack and skill attack mutation so that Proata gets the skill attack mutation and Hairy Panther gets the attack mutation. And we're going to move Proata in the back row because I do want to give it a chance to shine and see if it's actually the skill attack mutation that was making it less effective than Hairy Panther. With that, let's start our 5 attacks and then we can take a look at the reports. Okay, first one, 900 million, and let's take a look. Gold Armor, 192, Hairy Panther, 308 million, and Proata, 296 million. So Hairy Panther is still outperforming Prada despite Prada having the skill attack mutation. Next one, 843 million, Gold Armor 168, Hairy Panther 281, Prada 289. So Prada and Hairy Panther did pretty similar in this one. Another one, 817 million, Gold Armor almost 200 million, Hairy Panther 258 million, and Prada 254 million. Again, they're coming off fairly similar. Next one, 853 million, and you can see that the average score that I'm getting actually dropped. So clearly Hairy Panther is doing much better with the skill attack mutation and being in the third row as opposed to Prada. So 225 million for Gold Armor, 227 million for Hairy Panther, and this time Prada didn't do bad at all. It did almost 300 million. Alright, the last one with this setup, 969 million, not bad. And here, Gold Armor almost 300 million. The Hairy Panther, 265 million. Prada did fairly good, almost 300 million again. Okay, time to switch to the last one and do the remaining 5 attacks. So we are going to give Leaf Devourer the skill attack mutation. Hairy Panther can keep the attack mutation because it is going to be in the unit. And our unit is going to look like this. Time to start attacking. Here we come, Pangolin. Alright, first attack above 1 billion. So pretty nice. Let's see. Gold Armor 275 million. Hairy Panther, good. 314 million. And Leaf Devourer 383 million. So Leaf Devourer did a good job. Next up, almost 1 billion, 989 million. Let's take a look. Gold Armor, not too good, 173 million. Hairy Panther didn't do that good either, 247 million. Leaf Devourer did really good, 453 million. Really cool. Alright, look at that, 1.15 billion. And let's take a look. Gold Armor 240 million, Hairy Panther 327 million, so pretty nice. And Leaf Devourer 473 million. So Leaf Devourer is definitely proving itself to be a really nice ant for the Pangolin. Another one, almost 1 billion, and let's see. Gold Armor 205 million, Hairy Panther 220 million, Leaf Devourer again, top performer, 458 million. Here's the final report of the day. 993 million. Gold Armor 248 million, Hairy Panther 234 million, and Leaf Devourer 390 million. So Leaf Devourer has been a pretty nice, consistent high performer. So I do have to give it that. As I mentioned before, you didn't have to memorize the numbers because we're going to take a look at them in a more graphical format, and here it is. Okay, so in this chart, you can look at the damage per attack for each ant. And of course, we're only looking at the ant 7 in row 3 with the skill attack mutation. So quick look on this and you can see that Prada was substantially lower in all of its attacks compared to Leaf Devourer and Hairy Panther. Hairy Panther and Leaf Devourer, both of them did pretty well. So you can see in the first and the last attack, Leaf Devourer did less than Hairy Panther, but in the middle 3 attacks, actually Leaf Devourer scored higher than Hairy Panther. It should give you an idea that both of them did fairly well, and the fact that Prada doesn't really compare with Leaf Devourer and Hairy Panther, at least at 0 star, and of course with Prada not having its awakening unlocked. So this one is the summary statistics, and it's a little bit more interesting to see. So blue is Prada, orange is Hairy Panther, and green is Leaf Devourer. Right, so you can see that Leaf Devourer's average is actually a little bit higher than Hairy Panther's. So if you want to know the exact numbers, we're talking about roughly 424 million damage by Hairy Panther on average, and approximately 431.4 million damage for Leaf Devourer on average. Now when you take a look at the maximums, again you can see Prada much below Hairy Panther and Leaf Devourer, and Leaf Devourer has a little bit of a higher maximum that we witnessed in our 5 attacks, and that is 473 million, while Hairy Panther's maximum was 452. Going to the minimums, you can see that again Prada's minimum is much lower, but between Hairy Panther and Leaf Devourer they're actually very close, and the numbers are approximately 383 million for Leaf Devourer and 381 million for Hairy Panther. And if we're to talk about medians, again Prada much lower than the others. Leaf Devourer's median was around 453, while Hairy Panther's median was 430. Okay, so it's clear that Leaf Devourer is a very effective ant for Pangolin now. And if you are a free-to-play player, I think it would be a pretty smart idea to replace your Proata with the Leaf Devourer and have its awakening unlocked. I'd also probably give it the skill attack mutation so you can maximize on the amount of damage that it does. And of course, this test was with the Leaf Devourer having only a green awakening, right? And as you saw, every time you upgrade the awakening, you get an extra 5% damage. And the higher damage, the more impact you're going to have on the Pangolin. So it only gets better from there. Now, I do understand that 5 attacks isn't really statistically significant, but from the attacks, you can see that there aren't any real outliers, and all 5 of them seem to be telling a very similar story. So it clearly does tell us an interesting picture that we can consider in our analysis. So the verdict, in my opinion, Leaf Devourer is definitely making a way into a unit for Pangolin Day because it does do a lot of damage, and if you manage to star it up and get it to a golden awakening, it is probably going to deal a lot of damage to Pangolin, so definitely worth using. And since I still have you here, I do want you to know that you can get between 10 to 35% bonus on in-game purchases in the Ants Underground Kingdom. The steps are quite simple. All you need to do is follow the video that I'm linking to this video, and you can also click that button that's going to appear at the top right of your screen to go to that video. The latest promo code is going to be in the name of that video, so you will know which promo code to use to get these amazing bonuses. And as the promo code changes, I'll update the title of that video. A lot of other people are taking advantage of this. Feel free to check it out. If you have any questions, you can join our Discord and I can guide you through the process as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like it, please share with your friends and subscribe to our channel so that you can get updated when we release other videos that can help you as well. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.